Riley Chin walked off the shuttle and looked around. The space station was huge. Everything looked clean and shiny. The floor felt strange under Riley's feet. Each step made Riley bounce a little bit. The gravity here was much lighter than Earth. Hundreds of alien students moved through the wide hallways. Riley saw creatures with scales, fur, and skin in every color. Some aliens had 6 legs. Others floated in the air using small machines on their backs. A group of blue jellyfish-like beings drifted past, glowing softly as they went. Riley tried not to stare too much. This was going to be home for the next year. A voice spoke from a speaker above. "Human student, please go to Station 7 for orientation." Riley found the station and waited. A tall alien stood there. It looked like a giant bird with purple and gold feathers. Its eyes were large and bright yellow. The creature wore a badge that said Coach Vennetz. "You must be the student from Earth," the alien said. Its voice was high and musical. The beak clicked when it talked. "Yes, that's me. I'm Riley," Riley said and smiled. The coach tilted its head sideways, studying Riley carefully. "Welcome to Vexari Academy. I teach physical education here. All students must take my classes." "Sounds good," Riley said. "I like staying active." Coach Vennetz made a sound like a chirp. "I appreciate your enthusiasm. However, I must warn you. This course is very difficult. Most students find it extremely challenging." Riley nodded, listening carefully. "Our physical education program has a 40% failure rate," the coach continued. "Many students need extra time to pass. Some take 2 or even 3 cycles to complete the basic requirements." 40%? Riley said, surprised. "That seems really high." "Yes, it is quite demanding," the coach replied. "We push our students hard. Physical fitness is important for all species, but achieving it requires great effort and dedication." The coach handed Riley a small device. It lit up with text and images. "This is your schedule and equipment list. Your first class is tomorrow morning at the 7th hour. Please be on time." Riley looked at the screen. The list was long. It showed items called gravity assistance harness, and breathing regulation mask, and climbing grip enhancers, and endurance supplements. "Do I really need all this stuff?" Riley asked, confused. The coach's feathers ruffled. "Absolutely. These items are required for safety. Students have been hurt trying to exercise without proper equipment. We take safety very seriously at this academy." "Okay, where do I get everything?" Riley asked. "The equipment room is on level 3. Show them your student code. They will provide what you need," the coach explained. "Make sure you review the safety protocols tonight. Read them carefully. Some exercises can be dangerous." Riley put the device in a pocket. "I'll check it out. Thanks for the information." The coach nodded. "One more thing. Do not feel bad if you struggle at first. Physical education is the most difficult subject for many students. Even our best athletes find it challenging." Riley found this odd. How hard could gym class be? On Earth, Riley jogged every morning and played sports on weekends. But maybe things were different here. "I'll do my best," Riley said. "That is all we ask," the coach replied. "See you tomorrow morning." Riley left the station and walked toward the dormitory section. Along the way, groups of students talked in clusters. Riley passed 3 small aliens that looked like fuzzy hamsters. They were speaking in squeaky voices. "I am so worried about physical education," one said to the others. "Me too," another replied. "My sister took it last year. She said it was terrible. She failed twice before passing." "I heard the wall climbing is impossible," the third one added. "Nobody can do it without help." Riley kept walking but felt curious. Why were they so scared of gym class? In another hallway, Riley saw 2 tall aliens with green skin and 4 arms. They were also talking about physical education. "I have been training for months," one said. "I still do not think I am ready." "The endurance test is the worst part," the other replied. 5 whole minutes of continuous movement. How does anyone survive that? Riley stopped walking. 5 minutes? That seemed like nothing. On Earth, Riley could run for an hour without much trouble. Maybe these aliens were just not very athletic. The dormitory was nice. Riley's room was small but comfortable. It had a bed, a desk, and a window showing the stars outside. Riley sat down and opened the device the coach had given. The safety protocols filled many pages. They explained how to use each piece of equipment. The gravity harness would help students move in the gym's higher gravity zones. The breathing mask would provide extra oxygen during hard exercises. The grip enhancers would help hands hold onto climbing surfaces. Riley read through everything carefully. Some of it seemed excessive. Did students really need all this help just for basic exercise? The next section showed the actual exercises. The first one was called Vertical Wall Ascension. Students had to climb a 3-meter wall. The instructions said most students needed 15 to 20 minutes to complete it. They should use the special grips and safety ropes. 3 meters was about 10 feet. Riley had climbed rock walls twice that tall back on Earth. 10 feet seemed easy. The next exercise was the Endurance Challenge. Students had to jog on a track for 5 continuous minutes. The instructions warned that this was very tiring. Students should use the breathing mask and take it slow. Riley almost laughed. 5 minutes of jogging? Riley did 30 minutes every morning before breakfast. Maybe the coach was just being extra careful. Or maybe aliens were not as strong as humans. Riley had never thought about it before. Earth had strong gravity. Humans had to be tough just to walk around. Maybe other planets were easier. Maybe their people did not need to be as strong. Riley looked out the window at the stars. Tomorrow would be interesting. Riley felt excited to see what alien gym class was actually like. The device beeped with a reminder. Equipment pickup closed in 1 hour. Riley stood up and headed toward level 3. Whatever happened tomorrow, Riley would be ready. Riley arrived at the gym early. The room was enormous. The ceiling stretched high above, at least 30 meters up. Strange equipment filled the space. Climbing walls, running tracks, and obstacle courses spread across the floor. Everything looked brand new and expensive. Other students were already gathering. Riley recognized some species from yesterday. The fuzzy hamster-like aliens huddled together nervously. The tall green aliens with 4 arms were stretching carefully. A group of slug-like creatures oozed slowly toward the equipment area. Coach Ven that stood at the center of the gym. The bird-like alien's feathers gleamed under the bright lights. A whistle hung around its neck on a cord. "Welcome, students," the coach announced. Its voice echoed through the large space. "Today we begin your physical education journey. Please collect your safety equipment from the station on the left." Riley joined the line. Each student received a harness, mask, gloves, and other gear. The equipment felt heavy and awkward. Riley put on the harness but left the mask hanging loose. The air seemed fine without it. "Today we start with basic assessments," Coach Vendatz continued. "First is the vertical wall ascension. You will climb this 3-meter wall using the designated grips. Take your time. Safety is most important." The coach pointed to a wall covered in colorful handholds. Safety ropes hung from the top. Thick mats covered the floor below. "Who wants to go first?" the coach asked. Nobody volunteered. Students looked at each other nervously. Finally, one of the green aliens stepped forward. It attached safety ropes to its harness with shaking hands. The alien grabbed the first handhold and pulled up slowly. Very slowly. Riley watched as the alien climbed. Each movement took several seconds. The alien would grab a hold, test it carefully, then pull itself up a tiny bit. Other students cheered encouragement. After 12 minutes, the alien reached the top. It came down looking exhausted but happy. "Excellent work," Coach Vendat said. "Who is next?" 3 more students went. Each took between 14 and 18 minutes. They all used the safety ropes and moved very carefully. One of the hamster aliens got stuck halfway up and had to be helped down. "Human student, Riley," the coach called. "Your turn." Riley walked to the wall and looked up. 3 meters. That was nothing. Riley did not bother with the safety ropes. They seemed unnecessary for such a short climb. "Wait," the coach said. "You need to attach your safety equipment." "I'll be okay," Riley replied. "It's not very high." The coach's feathers ruffled with concern. "It is required. Please attach the ropes." Riley did not want to argue on the first day. Riley quickly clipped one rope to the harness, then turned to the wall. Without thinking much about it, Riley grabbed 2 handholds and pulled up. Then grabbed 2 more. And 2 more. Hand over hand, moving fast and smooth. 12 seconds later, Riley reached the top. Riley dropped back down to the mat and turned around. Every student in the gym was staring. Complete silence filled the room. "Did anyone time that?" one of the hamster aliens squeaked. 12 seconds, another student whispered. "I counted." Coach Vendat stood frozen, its beak slightly open. "That is unusual. Very unusual." Riley felt confused by the reaction. "Was I supposed to go slower?" No, the coach said quickly. "Faster is better. Let us move on to the next assessment." The coach led everyone to the running track. It was a simple oval loop around the gym. "The endurance challenge," the coach announced. You will jog continuously for 5 minutes. This is very difficult. Pace yourselves carefully. Use your breathing masks if needed. You may walk if necessary, but try to keep moving. 5 minutes seemed like a warm-up to Riley. Back home, Riley jogged for half an hour every single morning. The first group of students started. They jogged very slowly, barely faster than walking. Within 2 minutes, several students were gasping for air. They put on their breathing masks and sucked oxygen desperately. By 4 minutes, half the group was walking. At 5 minutes, everyone collapsed on the ground, completely exhausted. Well done, Coach Vennat said. Take a rest. Next group, please line up. Riley joined the second group. The coach blew the whistle and everyone started jogging. Riley kept an easy pace, nothing special. Just a light jog. Breathing felt normal. The light gravity actually made it easier than running on Earth. Riley looked around. The other students in the group were already struggling. Their faces showed strain and effort. Some were panting hard. One alien grabbed its breathing mask after just 90 seconds. Riley kept going at the same comfortable pace. Not fast, not slow. Just steady and easy. At 3 minutes, Riley was the only student still jogging normally. Everyone else had slowed to a walk or stopped completely. They stared as Riley ran past them lap after lap. At 5 minutes, the coach blew the whistle. Riley stopped and waited. Riley was not even breathing hard. No sweat. No tiredness. It felt like nothing. The other students lay on the ground, gasping and groaning. Some were using their masks. Others just stared at Riley with wide eyes. Coach Vennats walked over slowly. The alien studied Riley with intense focus. You are not tired? Not really, Riley said honestly. Should I keep going? No, that is sufficient, the coach replied. Its voice sounded strange. Suspicious, maybe. Tell me, Riley. What kind of enhancement technology does Earth have? Enhancement technology? Riley asked, confused. Performance boosters. Genetic modifications. Anything that would make you stronger or faster than normal, the coach explained. Oh, nothing like that, Riley said. I'm just a regular person. The coach's eyes narrowed. Regular people cannot climb walls in 12 seconds. Regular people cannot jog for 5 minutes without showing any signs of fatigue. I mean, on Earth lots of people can do this stuff, Riley said. This is pretty basic exercise. Basic? The coach repeated. The word came out sharp and disbelieving. Other students were gathering around now, listening to the conversation. They whispered to each other in dozens of different languages. I need to review the footage from today's class, Coach Vennat said. Riley, please come to my office after classes end today. We need to have a serious discussion about your performance. Did I do something wrong? Riley asked, worried now. That is what I intend to discover, the coach replied. Class dismissed. Everyone return your equipment. Riley walked back to the dorm feeling confused and concerned. The gym class had seemed so easy. Too easy. But apparently that was a problem. Now the coach thought Riley was cheating somehow. How could Riley prove that this was normal? Riley knocked on the office door at exactly the time Coach Vennats had requested. The door slid open with a quiet hiss. Inside, the coach sat behind a desk covered with data pads and holographic screens. Video footage from the morning's gym class played on one large screen. Come in, Riley, the coach said. Its voice was serious and formal. Please sit down. Riley sat in the chair across from the desk. It was designed for aliens and felt a bit small. The coach tapped a screen and the wall climbing video started playing. Riley watched themselves scale the wall in 12 seconds. When played in slow motion, it looked even faster than Riley remembered. This is remarkable footage, the coach said. No student in the history of this academy has ever climbed that wall in under 2 minutes. The current record was 2 minutes and 14 seconds, set 15 years ago by a student from a high-gravity moon. I didn't know there was a record, Riley said quietly. The coach switched to the jogging footage. Riley ran lap after lap while other students collapsed around them. The video zoomed in on Riley's face. No strain. No heavy breathing. Nothing. And this, the coach continued. 5 minutes of continuous running with no visible fatigue. Your heart rate monitor showed only a slight elevation. Your breathing remained normal. This should be impossible. Riley shifted in the uncomfortable chair. I keep telling you this is normal for humans. Normal. The coach's feathers stood up straight. Riley, I have taught physical education for 23 years. I have trained students from over 400 different species. What you did today is not normal for anyone. But it is for humans, Riley insisted. The coach leaned forward. I have reviewed Earth's information in our databases. Your planet is listed, but the details are limited. Tell me honestly, are you using any kind of enhancement? Genetic modification? Performance drugs? Hidden technology? No, nothing like that, Riley said firmly. I'm completely natural. Just a regular human. Then explain to me how this is possible, the coach demanded. Riley thought for a moment, trying to find the right words. Okay, so Earth has stronger gravity than this station. About twice as strong, actually. Humans grow up moving in that heavy gravity every single day. It makes us stronger without even trying. The coach tilted its head, considering this. Twice the gravity? Yeah, everything weighs twice as much on Earth. So our muscles have to work twice as hard just to walk around or pick things up, Riley explained. When I came here and the gravity was lighter, everything felt easier. Interesting, the coach said slowly. But that does not explain the endurance. The cardiovascular performance. Riley nodded. That's because of how humans evolved. Our ancestors were persistence hunters. We would chase animals for hours and hours until they got too tired to run anymore. We evolved to run long distances without stopping. 5 minutes is nothing compared to what humans can do. The coach stared at Riley for a long moment. Its yellow eyes were unreadable. You expect me to believe that your entire species can perform at this level? Well, yeah, Riley said. I mean, I'm not even that athletic compared to other humans. I just jog sometimes and play casual sports. Real athletes on Earth are way better than me. Way better? The coach repeated, its voice rising. You are saying there are humans who are even more capable than what I witnessed today? Of course, Riley said. Professional athletes can run for hours. They can lift incredibly heavy weights. Some humans climb mountains that are thousands of meters tall, in freezing cold, with low oxygen. The coach stood up abruptly. Its feathers were now completely ruffled. This is very difficult to believe without evidence. I can prove it, Riley offered. Give me any test you want. The coach thought for a moment, then walked to a cabinet on the wall. It pulled out a metal bar about as thick as Riley's wrist. This is a grip strength tester. Students must hang from this bar for 30 seconds. It is considered one of the hardest tests we have. Most students can barely manage 20 seconds even with training. Riley looked at the bar. It seems simple enough. The coach mounted the bar on a frame that extended from the wall. If you can hang for 30 seconds, I will begin to believe your claims about Earth's gravity. Just 30 seconds? Riley asked. Yes, that is the requirement, the coach confirmed. Riley reached up and grabbed the bar with both hands. The coach started a timer on a screen. Riley hung there, feet off the ground. The light gravity made it feel like nothing. Riley's arms barely felt any strain at all. 30 seconds passed. The timer beeped. Okay, good, the coach said. You can let go now. But Riley felt completely fine. No reason to stop. I'm not tired yet. The coach's beak fell open slightly. What? Riley hung there comfortably. 1 minute passed. Then 2. Riley's hands felt totally secure on the bar. This was easier than the monkey bars back in elementary school on Earth. This is absurd, the coach muttered. At 3 minutes, Riley decided to try something. Riley let go with the left hand and hung by just the right hand. The coach made a choking sound. Riley reached into a pocket with the free left hand and pulled out a data pad. Might as well do something while hanging here. Riley started reading messages from friends back on Earth. Students began gathering outside the office. Someone must have seen through the window. They pressed against the glass, watching and pointing. More students arrived. Then more. Soon a crowd filled the hallway. The coach noticed and looked horrified. Riley, you can stop now. You have made your point. Just give me a minute, Riley said, still reading messages. My friend is telling me about his new cat. It's really cute. 5 minutes passed. 6, 7. Riley switched hands, now hanging by the left hand while using the right hand to scroll through photos of the cat. Students outside were recording everything on their devices. They talked excitedly to each other in dozens of languages. At 8 minutes, Riley finally let go and dropped to the floor. Okay, sorry about that. Got distracted by the cat pictures. Coach Venus just stared. No words came out. The alien looked completely shocked. So do you believe me now about Earth's gravity? Riley asked hopefully. The coach slowly nodded, still speechless. Outside the office, students were already sharing the videos. Within minutes, the footage spread across the academy's network. By dinner time, every student had seen it. The human who hung one-handed for 8 minutes while reading about cats. Riley became famous without even realizing it. 3 days after the grip strength incident, Riley received a message on the data pad. It was from the Academy's head administrator, requesting Riley's presence in the main conference room. The message said to wear gym clothes. Riley arrived to find Coach Ven that's waiting along with 5 other officials. They sat at a long table looking serious. Behind them, a massive screen showed an image of an obstacle course. It looked complicated and dangerous. "Thank you for coming, Riley," said Administrator Kesh, a short alien with silver skin and 3 eyes. "We have been discussing your situation. Coach Ven that's has shared footage of your abilities. Quite remarkable." "Thank you," Riley said, not sure what else to say. "However, we have a problem," another administrator spoke up. "This one looked like a floating brain in a tank. We cannot assign you a grade based on normal standards. You exceed every measurement we have. We need to establish a proper baseline for your capabilities," HFY explained. "Therefore, we have decided to test you on the gauntlet." Riley looked at the screen. "What's the gauntlet?" Coach Ven that stood up. "It is our most challenging obstacle course. We designed it 300 years ago to push the very best athletes to their absolute limits. It tests strength, endurance, agility, problem-solving, and mental fortitude. Only the top students even attempt it," HFY added. "Most fail to complete it at all." The floating brain spoke again. "The current record for completion is 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 32 seconds. Set 94 years ago by a student from a heavy world species. We want to see how you perform," HFY said. "This will help us understand your true capabilities. Will you attempt it?" Riley studied the course on the screen. It had climbing sections, balance beams, crawling tunnels, rope swings, and wall jumps. It looked fun actually. Like a really big playground. "Sure, I'll try it," Riley agreed. They led Riley to the Academy's largest training facility. The gauntlet filled the entire room. It was enormous. The course twisted and turned through multiple levels, going up to the ceiling and back down again. A crowd had gathered to watch. News of the test had spread fast. Students lined the observation decks above. Some held recording devices. Others just stared with wide eyes. "You may use any safety equipment you wish," Coach Ven that said. "Take as much time as you need." Riley stretched a bit and looked at the starting line. "I'm ready when you are." HFY raised a hand. "On your mark. Set. Begin." Riley started running. The first obstacle was a cargo net stretched vertically. Most climbers would go slowly, testing each handhold. Riley scrambled up it like a ladder, reaching the top in seconds. Next came a series of platforms at different heights. Riley jumped from one to another, barely pausing. The light gravity made the jumps easy. A narrow balance beam came next, suspended over a foam pit. Riley jogged across it at full speed, arms out slightly for balance. The watching crowd gasped. Then came the rope swing section. Students were supposed to swing from rope to rope across a gap. Riley grabbed the first rope, swung hard, and flew through the air to grab the second. Then the third. Then the fourth. It felt like being a kid again. The course continued up a climbing wall with small handholds. Riley went up it fast, not bothering with the safety rope. At the top, there was a crawl tunnel barely big enough to fit through. Riley squeezed in and pulled forward with arms and legs. Halfway through the tunnel, Riley heard a sound. A small chirping noise like crying. Riley stopped. "Hello? Is someone in here? Help?" a tiny voice squeaked. "I am stuck." Riley crawled forward and found another student wedged in the tunnel. It was an insectoid alien with 6 legs and a shiny black shell. Its legs were tangled awkwardly. "Hey, it's okay," Riley said gently. "I'm Riley. What's your name?" "Tiksher," the insect replied, voice shaking. "I tried the gauntlet yesterday. I got stuck here. I have been too embarrassed to call for help." "You've been here since yesterday?" Riley asked, concerned. "Yes," Tiksher admitted. "I brought food, but I cannot move forward or backward. My legs do not bend the right way in this space." Riley thought quickly. "Okay, I can help. Let me get behind you and push." "But you are doing the gauntlet," Tiksher protested. "I will ruin your time." "That's not important," Riley said. "Let's get you out first." Riley carefully maneuvered around Tiksher in the tight space. It took some creative twisting, but Riley managed to get positioned behind the insect student. Then Riley pushed gently, guiding Tiksher's legs into better positions. "Okay, try moving now," Riley encouraged. Tiksher crawled forward a bit. "It is working." Together they made their way through the rest of the tunnel. Riley pushed and guided while Tiksher pulled forward. When they emerged on the other side, Tiksher clicked happily. "Thank you so much," Tiksher said. You saved me. No problem, Riley replied. Are you okay to get down? Yes, I can manage from here, Tixure said. The insect carefully climbed down a ladder to the ground. Riley continued the course. There were still obstacles left. A rope climbed straight up for 10 meters. A series of monkey bars. A wall to jump over. A final sprint to the finish line. Riley moved through each one steadily. Not rushing but not slow either. Just consistent and focused. When Riley crossed the finish line, the timer stopped. The crowd was completely silent. HFY looked at the official timer. 14 minutes and 7 seconds. The silence broke. Students erupted in cheers and shouts. Some jumped up and down. Others just stared in disbelief. Coach Vendatz looked at the timer, then at Riley, then back at the timer. You stopped to help Tixure. How long were you in that tunnel? Maybe 3 or 4 minutes, Riley estimated. The coach's feathers went completely flat against its body. You broke a 300-year-old record. And you stopped to help another student. If you had not stopped, you would have finished in approximately 10 minutes. The administrators gathered in a tight circle, speaking in hushed voices. They looked worried. After several minutes, HFY approached Riley. We have accessed Earth's full planetary classification, the administrator said slowly. Your world is listed as a Class 12 Death World. The highest danger category in the database. Death World. Riley repeated, confused by the term. A planet where nearly everything is trying to kill you, HFY explained. Extreme gravity. Dangerous weather. Predatory animals. Toxic plants. Earth scores at the maximum level in almost every danger category. Riley shrugged. I mean, yeah, Earth can be dangerous sometimes. But it's home. The administrators looked at each other nervously. We need to discuss whether you should even be in standard classes, one said. This is unprecedented. 1 week after the gauntlet, Riley was called back to the conference room. The same administrators sat at the table, along with Coach Vendatz. They all looked tired, like they had been arguing for hours. Please sit, Riley, HFY said, gesturing to a chair. Riley sat down and waited. The room felt tense. Coach Vendatz spoke first. We have reached a decision about your physical education requirements. After much discussion, we believe the best solution is to create a separate, adapted curriculum for you. What does that mean? Riley asked. It means you would not participate in regular gym classes, the coach explained. Instead, you would have independent study. You could use the gym facilities on your own time, but you would not join the other students. Riley frowned. So I'd be alone? Yes, the coach confirmed. It is the fairest solution. Your presence in class creates an impossible standard for other students. They feel discouraged when they see what you can do. It affects their confidence and motivation. But I'm not trying to show off, Riley protested. I'm just doing the exercises. We understand, HFY said gently. This is not a punishment. We simply believe it is better for everyone if you train separately. Riley thought about this. Being alone in the gym sounded boring. More than that, it felt wrong. Riley had made friends in gym class. Tixure now waved every time they saw each other. The hamster aliens always asked Riley questions about Earth. Even the shy slug students had started saying hello. Can I suggest something different? Riley asked. The administrators looked at each other. You may speak, HFY said. Riley leaned forward. The problem isn't that I'm too good at the exercises. The problem is how we're thinking about gym class. Everyone is competing against impossible standards. But physical education shouldn't be about being the best. It should be about getting better than you were before. Coach Vendatz's feathers ruffled. We have standards for a reason. Students need goals to work toward. But the goals are wrong, Riley insisted. You're asking students from low-gravity worlds to perform like they're from high-gravity worlds. That's like asking a fish to climb a tree. What are you proposing? The floating brain administrator asked. Riley thought carefully before speaking. Let me help teach. Not the physical stuff but the mental stuff. Breathing techniques. Focus. Breaking big challenges into smaller steps. Working together instead of competing. These are things any species can learn. You want to be a teacher? Coach Vendatz sounded skeptical. More like a helper, Riley said. I've noticed that students give up before they really try. They're scared of failing. But on Earth, we learn that failure is just practice. You fail, you learn, you try again. That mindset can help anyone no matter how strong they are. The administrators whispered among themselves. Finally, HFY spoke. This is highly unusual. Students do not typically teach other students. Let me try for 1 month, Riley pleaded. If it doesn't work, I'll do the independent study. But if it helps, then maybe we can change how gym class works for everyone. More whispering. More discussion. Finally, they agreed. The next gym class started differently. Coach Vendatz announced that Riley would be assisting with instruction. Some students looked confused. Others looked excited. Okay everyone, Riley said, feeling nervous about speaking to the whole class. Today we're going to try something new. Instead of timing how fast you climb the wall, we're going to focus on technique and breathing. Riley demonstrated on the ground first, showing how to breathe steadily while reaching and pulling. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Keep it steady. Don't hold your breath when things get hard. The students practiced the breathing pattern while standing. It seemed silly, but Riley insisted it was important. Then they approached the wall in pairs. You're going to encourage each other, Riley explained. One person climbs while the other counts breaths and gives support. No competition. Just personal progress. The first pair started. A hamster alien named Pip began climbing while his partner counted breaths from below. Good, steady breathing, you're doing great, the partner said. Pip moved slowly but steadily. When Pip got scared halfway up, Riley called out encouragement. You're okay, Pip. Take 3 deep breaths. Find your next handhold. You've got this. Pip made it to the top in 18 minutes. Not a record, but better than Pip had ever done before. More importantly, Pip was smiling. They continued this way for weeks. Riley taught the students to break the 5-minute jog into smaller chunks. Don't think about 5 minutes. Think about 30 seconds. Anyone can jog for 30 seconds. Then do it again. And again. Riley showed them how to encourage each other during the endurance challenge. Students would jog in groups, calling out positive words. You're strong. Keep going. Almost there. The pass rate started climbing. More students completed the wall climb. More students finished the 5-minute jog. But more importantly, students stopped being afraid. They started having fun. Tickshire became Riley's closest friend. The insect student still struggled with some exercises, but Tickshire never gave up anymore. You taught me that trying is more important than succeeding, Tickshire said one day. After 1 month, the administrators reviewed the results. The pass rate had jumped from 60% to 85%. Student satisfaction surveys showed massive improvement. Injuries had dropped to almost zero because students were working together and being more careful. This is remarkable, HFY admitted in the conference room. We have been teaching physical education the same way for centuries. You changed everything in 1 month. It wasn't just me, Riley said. The students changed it. They were always capable. They just needed to believe in themselves. Coach Vendatz looked at Riley with what might have been respect. I was wrong to suggest removing you from class. You have taught me as much as you taught the students. The academy decided to redesign the entire physical education curriculum based on Riley's methods. They asked Riley to be an official student consultant, helping to train other coaches and develop new teaching approaches. Riley's fame spread beyond the gym. Students from all departments knew the human who helped fix gym class. Riley couldn't walk through the hallways without people saying hello or asking questions about Earth. But Riley didn't feel like a celebrity. Riley just felt like someone who had helped some friends. That was enough. On weekends, Riley still used the gym alone sometimes, doing the harder workouts that would be dangerous for other species to watch. But during class time, Riley stayed with the group, encouraging and supporting and celebrating every small victory. The hamster aliens no longer feared gym class. The slug students moved with confidence. Even the shy crystalline beings joined in, their chimes ringing happily as they exercised. Riley had come to the academy to learn. But in the end, Riley taught something more valuable than any lesson. That physical strength doesn't matter as much as mental strength. That working together beats competing alone. And that everyone, no matter what planet they're from, can improve if they believe in themselves.